Okay, let's wait for a few minutes.
Yes, I'm ready.
So I have a plan for a demonstration. Then, so I will go through the topics very quickly. So first of all, I will talk about the overview of IELTS. There are four parts: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So as you can see, when you take the exam, this should be the order that you have to take. In the morning, usually you take the listening and reading, and around 12 a.m. you take the writing, and speaking will be the last one. And you can see this is a time for each skill, and how many parts there are in each skill. So let's focus on speaking. So speaking, they focus on four areas. First one is fluency and coherence, and the second one is lexical. This means vocabulary. The third one is grammar and accuracy, and the last one is pronunciation. And any questions for this part?
No. I'll raise a question at the end of your presentation.
Okay. So for teaching speaking, my ideas or methods are to focus on realistic aim. And what can I improve on my student? I mean, every student. From what I have observed, generally for students in high school, they can improve on their body language. Because when you talk, if you use your body language, you can convey the message. So if the person cannot understand you by hearing, he can guess the meaning of what you are trying to say by looking at you. And the second one I can improve is the tone. Because most of Vietnamese are very monotonous. It means when you talk, the sound is very flat. There's no up and down. So when you have up and down in the sentence, it can sound more English. And for the pronunciation part, actually there is quite simple improvement every student can make. For example, they know how to pronounce certain type of, say, like, sure, I don't know how to explain it to you, but then, for example, the word action, normally Vietnamese student will pronounce this as action. So you have to pronounce it correctly. It's very simple. You can improve, I think, about 2 or 3 sessions. And there's one important thing to keep in mind that in IELTS speaking, they do not care about your accent. Accent mean because you are Vietnamese, so you speak in Vietnamese accent. They do not care at all. So you can be quite confident and do not need to worry about it. And there's one last thing that I want to discuss is personal drawbacks. It's based on my personal experience. For example, because my tongue is very short, so it's very difficult for me to roll my tongue. So I try to avoid to use a lot of words that have a lot of R sound in it. So I think it's a good advice for my student in the future. You don't have to follow whatever the teacher gives to you. You can have your own range of vocabularies based on your personal strength or weaknesses. Next is writing. So writing, they have 4 areas to focus on. First one is task response. It means you need to answer the question correctly. The second one, I think the other trees are quite self-explanatory, so can I move on? There are two tasks in writing. First one is task one. Usually it will take you 20 minutes in the exam, and the essay is about 150 words long. And there are 7 common types of questions in this type of writing task. First one is line graph. Second one is bar chart. Next one is pie chart. And the other one is table. So for these 4 types of questions, usually you need to spot the different or the significant distinctive data or numbers, and then sometimes you make comparisons. So I think for these 4 type of questions, the way you answer it more or less the same. So let's move on. Is combination. This is a combination of other type of questions, and the tricky part about this type of question is because it have to type in it. So you have to manage the content you want to write because you are only limited to a few words. Next one is process. Process. So usually you just try to talk to write it step by step, or if you are more advanced, you can divide it into different stages. Like let's say this stage have these steps, the other stage have this step. Yeah, so I think for me personally, this one is the easiest one because they have provided you with a lot of vocab in the illustration already. So yeah, so this one should not be a problem if you want to do writing for task one. The last one is map. So usually they give you some maps and they ask you to describe it or make comparison between past or future or present. Yeah, so this is all for task one. Task two, there are usually 5 types of questions: opinion, discussion, problems, and solution, and the other two. For the opinion type of questions, usually when you look at the questions, you can see some signals. These are common wordings in the questions like, what is your opinion? Do you agree or disagree? And to what extent do you agree or disagree? The other one is discussion question. So for this style of questions, it's almost the same as the opinion one. But for this type of questions, you have discussed 2 sides. For the opinion one, you must choose one side, and for the essay, you need to write one side only. For this one, you have to write both. Next one is problems and solutions. For problems and solution, you can see the wordings over here. Sometimes it can be like causes and solution. Like what are the causes? You can see in the second example. Next one is disadvantages and advantages. Sometimes they can rephrase it like negative or positive, or benefits or harms. Yeah. The last part is double questions. So normally in this type of questions, there are 2 parts you need to address. And there are different types of double questions. So I just show you a few examples. in the exam it can be like different, totally different things from what I show you here. So for teaching writing, we have to talk about band score versus informative assessment. For band score, you can use a public rubric that are provided by the British Council. Usually, it should use for test only. And for informative assessment, you use it to mark the student work at home, in class. So what's the rationales for using informative assessment instead of band score? Informative assessment is focuses more on the error. It's focused on point out what the student need to improve. And because learning is a journey, a long experience, so we should focus on pointing out to the student what they can do better, how they are doing. For band score, it's more about result oriented. So we just need to use it for the exam. Most of the time when the students they do their homework or their classwork, the environment is not controlled. Like the student can ask their friend, use a dictionary, or even copy other people's work. Yeah. So using band score will not be suitable for this, for the homework. You guys like me? And one thing about teaching writing is selective focus. One thing I have read from the material that you provided me is less is more. So usually you need to focus in certain areas that the student keep making mistake, and then you
Okay, give me 1 minute.
okay.
To find the example. All right.
So, thank you.
You were talking about selectively focus.
Okay. So where are we now? Yeah. And the last one is in-class assessments. So for higher level student, for class activities, usually you should ask them to work in pair, or by doing work in pair, the student can teach each other or learn from other with the same level experience. So yeah, teaching writing is very boring and it's really kind of like a formula. You don't really have many creative way to convey the knowledge. And last part, marking. So for marking the writing essay, usually do not try to rewrite the paper. Just show the student what they are doing wrong, and then ask them to correct it. And you can make some comment or special comment about the way that student write the essays. And use a rubric that provided. Don't use another type of standard because sometimes it will be very misleading or confusing for the students. And for the time constraint is like the time that the teacher is allowed to mark the essay for the student. So if I remember correctly, for normal classes, the teacher can have 6 days to mark it right. And for VIP classes, there are only 2 or 3 days allowed. Yeah, so now I have some kind of little demonstration for you guys, like how to use technology to teach speaking and writing. Yeah, but there is a technical issue. I don't know how to show my browser. Yeah. Okay. I need to see how.
Window P. Choose duplicate or.
The piece is not working.
Okay, let me try. Here.
Let me try.
Mission F6.
Yes, you explain right. Okay, it's this one. Okay.
Okay.
Your laptop is a little bit low, you know.
Sorry.
So which one?
This one.
This one?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Really? Only this one, right?
Mm.
Drag it in here.
Okay. Okay. So for this part, can I sit down? I want to show you guys how to use Chat GPT for speaking and writing. So let's go with writing first. Okay. Oh my God. This feels so unnatural. Should I use duplicate?
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, duplicate. Okay. So let's start. If I want to practice speaking, so usually the part one is about you introduce yourself. The second part of speaking, they give you a certain hints or prompts and ask you to do a monologue about it. And the last part of speaking test is about discussion. So just tell ChatGPT, hey, I'm doing a speaking role play. And okay, I show you an example, okay? Or do you want me to do it live for you?
Which ones do you feel more comfortable?
Okay, so I will do a new one for you, okay? So most of the time I will type in my PC and I will not talk. So can you pay a little attention to the screen?
Sure.
Okay. So hi.
Oh wow, is that like a person?
Okay. So I have prepared some questions for speaking. So let's say this is part one. Usually for this part is like warm up and student will feel comfortable about it. So I will do a few questions first to give the AI the context of the conversation. So you can see the answer is quite natural, and native speaker, they do speak like this. Yeah. I feel some examples or sample answer in a Vietnamese website. They are really weird. Yeah. Normally, um, native speaker, they speak like this. So I think it's a good demonstration for the student. And it's totally free. You can use it, you don't have to pay money. And every time you ask it, it will give you different answer. So yeah, I think this one is very useful. And for the second part, okay, yes. So I inform it that I'm going to talk in part two, and I give it a prompt. See, for this length, you can speak for 5 minutes, or if you want to be more advanced, you can ask it to give you a longer answer. So just wait a few seconds. And totally natural, professional answer for you. Yeah, this is more advanced. But then the main thing focus here is not about the vocabs or the whole thing. I think you should try to focus on the ideas, because most of the time the part two and part three of the speaking test, they want to test you about your understanding, your knowledge, your ideas. And most of the time, the ideas from sample answer from IELTS website, they are quite the same, I must say. So when you use the chat GPT, it can give you a totally new or weird idea, I must say. And for the last part, normally it's about discussion. And you can see the answer given in this website uh, quite short. So normally this type blank should be for band 6 or band 7 student. And if we want to improve yourself, you can just add this and it can give you this is a full length answer. You can pick whatever you want to focus on. Yeah, so it can be a teacher for you for speaking. Not, it cannot check your pronunciation, but at least it can provide you with content and ideas. Yeah, so this is for speaking. For writing is more straightforward. Okay, let's start new one. For writing, one thing I noticed is that for the student paper, the teacher can have 2 or 3 days or even a week to mark it right. So it means for untrained or even trained teachers, it's very difficult and time consuming to mark the student paper. And sometimes the feedback may not be sufficient, or it may not reflect the student work perfectly. Yeah, so you can ask ChatGPT to help you to mark it a few seconds. So let's say I have this essay of my student. This one should be a band 7 essay. So I just need to copy it. If the student write it on paper, I can scan it and convert it into doc file. Yeah, just copy it. First, you have to ask it nicely. Help me to mark. Oh, wait. Stop.
There is a stop button there.
Okay. I need to ask it again. Mark this essay according to IS. Yeah, so you can see if you will give the mark for 4 areas based on the rubric, and you can look at the feedback. The score is around 6.5, so more or less the same as the band given in the sample answer.
Where does it say that the essay got band 7,
Yeah,
band 6.5 in the source? In the website where you copy the essay, did they mention the score, the band
yeah.
score of the
The best
essay?
score for this one is 7. So
Show me the evidence.
actually, because I just Google sample band 7 essay and it gives me, okay, it should be band 7.
Can you scroll up a little bit? I see that they say something about band score at the top of the essay.
Yes, over there.
So there are 3 examples: band 7, 8, and 9.
Can you scroll up a little bit more?
Scroll up.
Okay. It's not that.
Yeah.
We have accomplished a list of.
So the top one should be band 7 one.
ChatGPT say it's that the band score 6.5.
So if you are not sure about the score, you can ask it. Yeah, if you have questions, just ask. So can I give this essay band 7? Yeah, certainly you can give the student band 7 for this essay.
Yeah. All right. So how reliable is ChatGPT for marking the essay?
Because it's not the, it's just help you or assist you in marking. So even if the reliability is around 50%, I must say it's still useful. Yeah, and you can see it's a sample answer, so there will not be grammatical errors or some type of wrong wordings or run-on sentences. If you have a sample with errors, I'm sure the ChatGPT can help you to fix it or point out the problem. So this is for the marking part. For the teaching, so as I have shared with you, I'm kind of study by example person. So I have to see some example to understand and follow it. And for writing classes, usually the teacher gives the student the questions and ask them to divide it into body, introduction, and conclusion, and do it in class. But sometimes the student cannot figure out what is the standard, and ChatGPT can help you to do it. Let's say I have a question, and my student is around band 7. So I want to have a sample answer for band 7. I can ask it to write it for me. Okay. What? Just a few seconds. You have a band 7 essay without any grammatical errors.
Can you count for me how many words are there in this example?
Copy and paste. I think it should be around 220. Yeah. Wait. Please be patient. My computer is very slow. Oh my god. Oh, it's a little bit long, but the student can pick different ideas from the essay. Or I can just ask it to limit the essay to 150. Please. Yeah. See? I shot the answer. Yeah, 265.
Okay.
And
That is not me asking you to persuade me to use ChatGPT because everyone is using it now. The problem is, as a teacher, you need to know how to use ChatGPT and you need to know how to teach students to use ChatGPT instead of being very dependent on that. And sometimes use ChatGPT to trick the teachers. Like they use ChatGPT to write their own homework and they submit to you and you give them like band score 7 using the tool that they used to write that. Like they use ChatGPT to write the essay and then you use ChatGPT to mark the essay that ChatGPT just wrote. So no one is benefiting anything from the ChatGPT. So this is not about ChatGPT and your ideas about ChatGPT is great, but this is not about how great ChatGPT is, but it should be, and teachers now should learn about using ChatGPT in just like playing with it, and teach students how to use it to benefit themselves and not to mess up the whole process of learning and teaching.
Yeah, as I have told you, it's more or less a assistant, not a teacher. So for marking, first of all, you have to mark your student paper by yourself, and you can use ChatGPT as a cross-reference.
That is the point.
Yeah.
You can use ChatGPT, but how should you ChatGPT to mark the student's essay?
It should be a reference.
That is correct. So I want to remind you that the way that you use ChatGPT outcomes as reference should have like some tips, some regulation, and the thing that you have to follow. I don't know exactly what it is. I did not research about it. I have a course on it, but it's not until April. So I cannot explain to you in detail now, and I cannot give you the instruction now. But I want you to know that there are people who can teach you how to use ChatGPT in teaching IELTS and teaching English in general. And you should learn about it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Okay, you can continue with your presentation now.
So when you use ChatGPT to materialize a sample answer, do not copy everything. You should rephrase it. Like let's say, because for example, if my student love to use the word crucial instead of essential, and there is a word essential in the essay, I rephrase it to crucial. So it's kind of will be more familiar with my student. You change according to your students. Yeah, it's about the content and the ideas. Not everything you can do for you, because I have checked the band 9 for IELTS by ChatGPT. I don't think even an English teacher can write that type of essay. It's not really feasible. It's just a reference, like a point you can cross-check to see this is a level you can reach and aim for it. Yeah, and I do not encourage you to 100% dependent on ChatGPT. I just want to show you that it can help you to exit. Because when I look at the time that teacher are required or need to mark a paper, I think it's very consuming. So by using ChatGPT, you can reduce the time and the productivity, the quality of the work will be the same or even better. Because it can help you to reduce the human errors. Yeah, so that's the conclusion of my presentation.
I agree. That is everything about your presentation?
Yeah.